This gentleman's serenade was first introduced in 2014 by Dan Bolin and his wife Ellen, and it is a very special event to bring together the young men participating in the ball and the generations of women who are close to them. I suspect that you had an idea the moment you arrived today and were escorted to your seat what a wonderful afternoon was in store. I can assure you, you will not be disappointed. My deepest thanks to the gentlemen serenade chairs, Dan Bolin, Matt Blakely, and Paul Fogel. And thank you to our serenade liaisons, Kim Mann and Julian Can, for all their help in making this, executing this memorable afternoon. It is also my honor and privilege to introduce our 2024 honorary chair, Mrs. Robert E.B. Esri, Sue. She was the dual ball chair in 1998. And to my vice chairman, Mrs. Kevin Joseph Rooney, Peggy. She will be an outstanding chairman in 2025. And I would also like to introduce our men's advisory member who is with us here today, Mr. Michael Dwayne Fields.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. And finally, I would like to introduce a few dual ball committee chairs who are here today as well. Debutante Chairman Allison Harding, gentleman of the dual ball chairman Carolyn Parkerson. I'm sure you've seen our public relations chairman Britton Norton and her co-chair Lindsay Yeager, and their committee members who are here, Anna Harding and Tyler Lofton. To the mothers and grandmothers and any great-grandmothers here today, you play such an important role in each of these young men's lives. And I'm delighted that we can celebrate together at this special event. And to the young men, you are a very impressive group. I know you can tie a bow tie, and I know you can sing. So I look forward to a great couple of weeks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Holly. It's number one, we want to thank you for giving us the honor to work with your young gentlemen. Each one has been prompt, attentive, and having a general willingness to make their parents proud of them at the Jewel Ball. I think if you think back the young men that you sent off to college, I think you're going to see today that there are different young men that came home. And I always think of Mark Twain, who made the comment that I left home at 18 to see the world. And I arrived back at 21, amazed at how smart my parents had become in those very short years. But it's a fine class, and each one of you should be very proud of your young gentlemen. The young gentlemen would like to introduce themselves and their respective mothers and grandmothers. And to begin, we will start with Waldo.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Bondi. My friends call me Michael, and I would like to introduce my grandmother, Mrs. Michael Joseph Siragusa. I would also like to introduce my grandmother, Mrs. Charlie Paul Bondi. I would also like to introduce my mother, Mrs. Michael Paul Bondi. I would like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball gentleman for class of 2024.
Very good, Michael.
Good afternoon. My name is David Cody. My friends call me Cody. And I would like to introduce my mother, Miss Elizabeth Grace Singleton. And I would like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball gentleman for the class of 2024.
Very good. Curly.
Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Brower Dickinson. My friends call me Daniel. I would like to introduce my mother, Mrs. Daniel Lewis Dickinson. I would like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball gentleman class of 2024.
Very good.
Good afternoon. My name is Russell Nunn. My friends call me Russell. I would like to introduce my grandmother, Mrs. Stephen Milbank Foote. I would also like to introduce my mother, Mrs. Tracy Gordon. I would like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball gentleman, class of 2024.
Very good. Punch.
Good afternoon. My name is John William Foster VI. My friends call me Johnny. I would like to introduce my grandmother. This is John William Sutherland Jr. And then my mother, Mrs. John William Foster V. I'd like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball Gentleman for the class of 2024.
Lady.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dustin Greenwood. This is my grandmother, Mrs. Rick Alpern. I'd also like to introduce my mother, Mrs. Paula Greenwood. I would like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball Gentleman in the class of 2024.
Okay. Shaggy.
Good afternoon. My name is Tyler Kirchhoff. I would like to introduce my grandmother, Mrs. Thomas Jefferson Wood III. I'd also like to introduce my mother, Mrs. Jason Alexander Lawrence. I'd like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball Gentleman class of 2024.
Good afternoon. My name is Jackson Charles Kimball. My friends call me Jackson. I would like to introduce my grandmother, Mrs. Dennis M. Miller. And I'd like to introduce my mother, Mrs. Michael Lynch Kimball. I would like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball Gentleman class of 2024.
Very good.
Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Jeffrey Kimmer. I would like to introduce my grandmother, Mrs. Kenneth Murray Eads. And I would also like to introduce my grandmother, or my mother. Sorry about that. My mother, Mrs. Sean Charles Coomer. And I'd like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball Gentleman class of 24.
Good afternoon. My name is Pearson McKee. My friends call me Pearson. I'd like to introduce my mother, Mrs. Peter Christian Fogel McKee. I'd like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball Gentleman class of 2024.
Very good.
Good afternoon. My name is Carter Mahalovich. My friends call me Carter. I would like to start by introducing my grandmother, Mrs. Cheryl Tormnan Spear. I'd also like to introduce my mother, Mrs. Timothy Joseph Mahalovich. I'd also like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball Gentleman in the class of 2024.
Good afternoon. My name is Jacob Owen Norris, and I'd like to introduce, and my friends call me Jacob, and I'd like to introduce my grandmother, Mrs. Thomas Jefferson Wood III. And I'd also like to introduce my mother, Mrs. Jason Alexander Norris. I'd like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball Gentleman for the class of 2024.
Good afternoon. My name is Ruben Perrin. My friends call me Ben. I would like to introduce my grandma, Mrs. John Noel McConnell. I'd like to introduce my mom, Miss Laura Susan McConnell. I would like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball Gentleman, class of 2024.
Good afternoon. My name is Nolan Chandler Reuter. My friends call me Nolan. I'd like to introduce my mother, Mrs. David Chandler Reuter. I'd also like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball Gentleman class of 2024.
Good afternoon. My name is John Shelton. My friends call me Jack. I'd like to introduce my grandmother, Mrs. Mark Vidal Shelton. I'd also like to introduce my mother, Mrs. Tyler Lindbergh Shelton. I'd also like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball Gentleman class of 2024.
You want to kiss them?
Good afternoon. My name is Edward Chalfont-C. My friends call me Edward. I'd like to introduce my grandmother, Mrs. William Harrison Shackelford III. I would also like to introduce my mother, Miss Mary Melinda Chalfont. I would also like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be gentleman in class of 2024.
Very good.
Good afternoon. My name is August Gregory Thompson. My friends call me August. I would like to introduce my mother, Miss Mark Collins Thompson. I'd also like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball Gentleman for the class of 2024.
Good afternoon. My name is Henry William Wilkerson. My friends call me Henry. I'd like to introduce my mother, Mrs. Kevin Michael Wilkerson. And I would also like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for allowing me to become a Jewel Ball Gentleman class of 2024.
Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Price Wilson. My friends call me Price. I would like to introduce my mother, Miss Rebecca Jackson Wilson. And I would also like to thank the Jewel Ball Committee for selecting me to be a Jewel Ball Gentleman in class of 2024.
Jackie, you want to come here for a second? You want to state your name?
Good afternoon, ladies. My name is Chapin Woods. I was in the class of 2023, and I'm just very honored to help out with these gentlemen.
I'd like to, on behalf of all the gentlemen, we had 10 gentlemen that came back from the class of 23, 22, and 21 to work with young men. I could be wrong, but I doubt if there's any other debutante formal where the gentlemen of one class come back and work with the gentlemen of another class. They gave up their time and effort to help ensure that we were going to make the class of 24 into excellent Jewel Ball gentlemen. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, are you ready to sing for your lunch? Now, please come forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first song, we'll be singing I Took My Girl Walking. 3, 2, 1.
I took my girl out walking late one Saturday night. I took my girl out walking, the moon was shining bright. I asked my girl to marry me, and what do you think she said? She said she would not marry me if the whole wide world was dead. That's why I do, like I do, like I do, that's why I do. Like I do, like I do, that's why I do. Like I do, like I do, that's why I do. Like I do, like I do. You must be a jewel ball man, jewel ball through and through. And if you are a jewel ball man, you always have a plan. So here's to a glass of champagne, sparkling and so clear. It's not as sweet as a young girl's kiss, but damn sight more sincere. That's why I do, like I do, like I do, that's why I do. Like I do, like I do, that's why I do. Like I do, like I do, that's why I do. Like I do, like I do. Jewel ball gents.
For the second song, we will be singing an English King. 3, 2, 1.
An English king with a brass earring dances pretty little maid. And every night in the pale moonlight across the boat he'd wait. He'd hug and kiss his pretty little miss in the shade of a castle tree. And every night in the pale moonlight it sounds like this to me. Ta-rum, ta-rum, ta-rum to the A. Ta-rum, ta-rum, ta-rum to the A. Down in the old cherry orchard, under the old cherry tree. Every night in the pale moonlight, she sang sweet songs to me.
Sang sweet songs to me.
That's where I first met and kissed her. That's where she promised to be. Down in the old cherry orchard, under the old cherry tree. Cherry tree.
Edward, bring him home.
For our third and final song, we will be singing Sweethearts Divine. 3, 2, 1.
Sweethearts divine have been sweethearts of mine, but there's only one girl in my dreams. Oh, what a girl. She has my brain in a whirl, and there's none can compare, so it seems. I ask you, how would you like to be my jewel ball sweetheart? How would you like to wear my jewel ball pin? How would you like to gaze upon a diamond gem until it never goes dim? How would you like to share a jewel ball friendship? Friendship that will last for life. How would you like to love your escort always? How would you like to waltz all night? Her eyes are blue as the Kansas sky. Her lips are like the rose. She's different from all other girls. How I love her, no one knows.
No one knows.
And in my fondest memories, never shall we part. For she is my dear one, and I am her dear one. She's my sweetheart for jewel ball night.
Very good, gentlemen. Stage right, please. You all should be very proud of your gentlemen. They work very hard, as you can imagine.
Yeah, I went back and everything was good.
Everything we did once. Because I know women don't want the dresses, but somebody let's have that picture up. I think they'll look nice. Take a picture of you. Oh yeah. Take a photo.
Nolan, your grandmother was my field hockey co-coach. She's very cute. Very cute. They look at me. Small world. Yeah. Well, not really. Not here.
But she lives in Houston and we live in San Diego. What are the chances?
I went to law school here. My whole family. I was telling Lainey that her mom saved us, like Avery.
He doesn't know that. She was did you go to Pembroke Hill? No, he went to, he left going into 9th grade.
I remember, so it was the year they were little.
David, 3 boys, yeah. Probably. And I think they broke something out of my first story.
Mine was the Mom, what did you get? First name on
I don't want to go out for this week. Maybe for like 2 days. I wake up early tomorrow morning. Then I just want to come home and like work.